friends, and welcome to my return to Ultra Series. It is currently New Year's Day. I'm clicking off my long run of last week by running up a mountain. And there is no better way, if you ask me, to kick off my return to ultra running and New Year's Day and the goal that I have set forth for this new year than crushing my first day of the year this way. I got to walk and talk. If you guys were following along last year, I did have this big goal to return to ultra running, but it was getting hard pretty early on in the year, and it just really changed my training the rest of the year. And I always kind of had to start from scratch again, which sucked, and I lost a lot of fitness, and that was hard for me, my ego. But you know, if you ask me, my 2023 goals really started in July of this past year. This is where I really switched that gear to focus on them more. So I hope you will follow along as I get my butt back to the starting line of another ultra marathon. So my goals for this year is right now, I've been running between like 17 to like 25 miles a week, depending on the week and my schedule as the year ended out. If after I'm done with this run today, I'll be at about 21 to 23 for the week. And I'm going to try to just, maintain here for a few weeks, be more consistent with it, and then start to slowly build up from there. Especially with having some lingering issues on my left side from being hurt. We're going to make sure that everything's adjusting to the volume of training before, increasing things more. And then I'd like to try to do a 50K training run sometime late spring with the ultimate goal of running a 50 miler. This year I have to be patient and play it by ear and see how my body handles the volume and bring me back up and running up hill talking at my phone at the same time. And I feel ready. I feel really ready for this. All right, we reached the top, and I would say running up a mountain, even if it's only 3 miles, and even if it's paved, on this beautiful warm day is sure as heck a great way to keep on your training. I love the first day of the year because it's just a reminder of everything that's possible, right? Like nothing's failed yet, nothing's happened, our humanness hasn't got in the way. And I think it's important not to have these unrealistic standards for the rest of the year because that's not possible, right? Life is messy, but to bottle up these days where it's warm and sunny and you feel great and you feel endless potential, and to bottle that up into your soul vessel or wherever you keep those feelings in yourself, so when the days are cold and you're not motivated, or the weather isn't ideal, or you're kind of tired of training at the end of your training cycle, or whatever it is, and digging deep and reminding yourself of who you were and what you felt when you were dreaming of doing things that you need to do on those days, right? Just reminding yourself of everything you felt on that first of the year, at the start of that goal, or the start of, training for that big thing. And keep that and file it away for those days where you kind of forget it, right? And that's what keeps me going in the hard training cycles. And those are going to come this year. I mean, they've come this past 6 months trying to get back into shape as it is. And, I think that in a way, being injured and getting hurt and having those setbacks is important and good. And I actually gained a lot from it because it really required me to lean in to those parts of me that I knew really wanted to do these things for me and no one else. And the belief I had that I could come back to train for ultras again and I can get to start on the finish line. It made me have to check that, right? Because your ego isn't going to do a return to run or, face the fact that it lost fitness or show up on those days where it's cold or you're not motivated or you have to modify and it's not ideal, right? But when you save those things in your file it away for later, and you remember why you want to do them, it's how you keep showing back up time and time again. It's exactly what I'm going to do with this new training year. So hopefully you can take a little bit of that and apply it to yourself too. All right, my friends, and welcome. Oh, no, I did it that up. All right, we are getting ready to head out for our first long run of the year in this Return to Ultra. I'm really excited to kind of get out there, see where my legs are at. I did only 6 miles last week up and down that mountain, as you guys saw earlier in this clip. So I'm excited to get on some more runnable trail and cruise for about 8 to 10 miles, see how the body feels. I haven't really done more than an 8-mile long run in December, just with how much work I had going on. So we're excited to kind of ease back into it, get back to a new starting spot to build from. And so we're getting ready to rock for the day. So I know people love to ask about cold weather running and gear and what I'm rocking and wearing. It's about 35, going to be 40-ish or so degrees out here in Colorado today where I'm going to run, but the sun is really powerful. So for me, dressing for the winter means wearing less layers than I think I need when that sun is out. But I really love these long sleeve tops from Lululemon. I don't know the name of any product that I'm using, but it has these thumb holes and these little flop over mittens. And these have been great for long runs, especially where you kind of are a little bit on the cold side, but it's a little too more of that extra layer or maybe the full thick gloves. And so, we're ready to rock. And then I also have, I think these are the Wunder Under Pocket Perform legging. Really happy with these two as a performance legging. Literally, truly only because they have a waist tie. So we are ready to rock. Otherwise, I'm getting ready and packing my pack. So let me take you through what I'm bringing for a day on trail for about a 10-mile long run. Okay, so I'm super stoked. I got a brand new trail pack this week. This is Black Diamond. Regis has had this trail pack for a few years and I've been eyeing it up, and they released it in teal, so I had to get it. So I'm getting ready to pack this. I have 2 soft flasks, one with clear water, one with electrolytes. Since it's winter, I'm not sweating as much. I don't need as many electrolytes, but I am going to be running for a few hours, so do want to make sure I'm replenishing those. I drank a Liquid IV this morning to hydrate as well. I'll usually drink 2 Liquid IVs on long run days, maybe 3 in the summer when it's very hot. Otherwise, sometimes I mix in Tailwind and or a carbohydrate supplement, but I'm trying to focus on eating some more whole foods and training my gut that way to start with this ultra training block. So I have the Stinger Honey Waffles. These are the best thing to happen to me, these cookies and cream ones. Amazing, so good, and they're gluten-free since I've been gluten reduced for the last year. It's a helpful way for me to get in some whole foods on trail without, stressing out my stomach. So I'm going to shove these in my pocket here and get those all packed, ready to rock, handy for me to grab while I'm out there on trail. And then the next thing I am bringing are these Hua Chia energy gels. I'm bringing a few of these. I might grab a few more things from my trunk today, toss in a couple packets of fruit snacks, just depending on what I'm feeling. But these are my favorite gels or goos for trail running. They are a little bit more viscous, so they're not the heavy, thick that a lot of gels are. So they're really easy down the hatch. I love them. I've been using them for years. I have no code. They're a little bit pricey, but sometimes if you order directly through their website, they'll give you coupons and stuff, which is nice. And then I'll bring an extra Liquid IV just in case I'm hurting for certain after the run. But it shouldn't be too much. This is about 600 calories worth of food, so 300 in the Stinger waffles and then 300 in the gels, plus another 50 or 100 with the Liquid IVs. So that's plenty of calories if I'm only running for a couple hours, but 300 calories an hour, 250 if I'm going over, which is a good place to start as I build back up my gut. If you click the link either below or in my links here on my YouTube channel, I do have a free running nutrition calculator you can use to calculate your nutritional needs. But the biggest advice I have is building that up over time. So start with lower amounts and increase that gradually over time, because it is hard for your gut to digest carbs while you're exercising. But you can train it to get better at that. And so I'm going to work myself back up to being able to tolerate 60, 70 grams of carbs per hour with other macronutrients as well on long runs here with ultra training. Because once you're getting into those 2, 3, 4, 5 hour runs, you're eating a lot, you're trying to take in as many carbs as possible, and you're depleting your stores so much more quickly. Where these shorter runs, you're not doing so as much. So it's a great time to just start practicing eating, rather than just thinking, well, I don't need food yet, and then starting to eat later on in training and then getting those gut bombs that we all know, love, and hate. So really practicing, emphasizing eating early and often when I get out on these runs, and practicing that across the whole training cycle so that when I get to my races, my stomach is loving it. All right, so we are taking our sweet time to get on trail today. Tatum's here visiting my friend who trail runs and does tons of outdoor stuff with me. And we both had a pretty tiring week. She was snowboarding all day yesterday. So I was like, let's sleep in and do an afternoon long run. Sounds great to me. So it's about 11:20. So I definitely need to eat something a little bit more. And then since I'm going to be running for a few hours before I eat again, I'm going to prepare and bring a protein shake for me to drink immediately after when I'm done on my run. I've been taking this Legion Plant Protein Cinnamon Cereal Whey since they released it recently. And it is the best thing to happen to me, along with those Stinger waffles all year. My belly loves it. It's great. It tastes amazing. and it doesn't have that gross plant protein taste that many proteins have. Now the question is, do I have a clean shake bottle? I'm good. So the trick with plant protein that many people mess up is you need to add more water than you think you do. Plant protein is a little bit more thicker in the formulation just based off like what it's made of than whey. So when you're mixing water with it, it will like be more thick. Then if you add more, then it has a little bit more of that viscous, runny, easier to drink. I also find that mixing it with milk makes it a little bit thicker, so maybe cut it with water. I know a lot of people complain about that. They do have to drink plant proteins for various personal or GI reasons, such as myself. And that's my track. So I filled that up pretty high with water, and that was about 32 grams of protein. I'll drink a little bit of this now, and then I'll polish it off while I am done with my run. And luckily it's winter, so it'll be nice and cold when I get back to the car. Pre-run stack, we are doing the world's thinnest amount of nut butter onto this lovely piece of sourdough bread, because you don't want a ton of fats before you are doing wall runs or anything like that. Yeah, that's like 34 calories worth of peanut butter. And it's not that peanut butter is bad. It's just that you don't want a high volume of fat in your stomach because it takes longer for you to digest it. And it also slows down the digestion of carbohydrates. And you want carbs to be more readily available in your blood system both before and during your run. So a little bit is totally okay. Generally, the recommendation is under 10 grams. You've all probably made the mistake before where you eat a ton of peanut butter or something really fatty and you get all that like heavy belly feeling on your runs, but peanut butter tastes good. So this one I did like the world's smallest amount just to get a little flavor on my piece of bread before I head out the door, and then I'm ready to rock. There's the trail. All right, we are at the trail getting ready to head out. I picked the wrong parking lot, so I gotta figure out, we're gonna reroute here, but it shouldn't be a big deal. Seems like there's a good bit of snow, but totally clear. I brought Yak Tracks and micro spikes for myself and to give to Tatum, just for depending on conditions, but otherwise it's probably fine with trail shoes. But you always wanna, have gear, be safe, be smart when you're out there doing these things. I haven't really ever had winter running. I grew up in Pennsylvania running in the snow in winter, but I always just like wore my tennis shoes when it was crunchy and just didn't run when it was slick outside, or ran on the side a lot for lacrosse indoor conditioning. So it's kind of new to me, but having good footwear and or traction on your shoes is probably the best advice, as well as just like making sure you have appropriate layers. But it's like 40 something degrees and sunny, so the conditions otherwise are beautiful, perfect clear skies, ideal Colorado day. So let's go. All right, we're about to head out for a beautiful run here in Boulder today for my back-to-back run today. So we did 9 yesterday, doing my Sunday run today. For now, I'm implementing back-to-back runs. In the past, I've done either back-to-back or like a long midweek run, or like a medium midweek run and then a long run on the weekend. But for now, I'm implementing back-to-back to just build up that volume on tired and fatigued legs with the goal of an ultra. So we're gonna head out today. I think there's gonna be a little bit of snow and mud to get on these trails, but honestly, we felt so good getting outside yesterday that I'm just excited to be outside again. And it's actually fairly warm today, so it's absolutely beautiful. So we're gonna hit my last run of this first week of training, and I'm very excited. All right, we are headed out. Tate's gonna do her little hike, and then I have no idea what I'm doing out here today. We will find out. We are just gonna go play in some snow. So let's get it. All right, so it's obviously very snowy. So we're getting our foot gear on. I got mine. These are also Black Diamond. Black Diamond, if you want to sponsor me. I'm not a good enough athlete, but I'd love it. So we're gonna get those on. Oh, I feel like I could go for days. I might have the wrong show, but like, look guys, I'm zooming. Take 30 minutes off my mile on these bad boys. I get 8 miles to the gallon. That counts as my warm-up. Low grade plyos right there, baby. So a common misconception I think people have about hybrid training is that it's there to steal away from your gains in the gym or steal away from your endurance, pursuits. And it doesn't have to be, and you can define what that means to you. But I think what people forget is that hybrid training is just a celebration of all the things that your body can do. And it allows you to gift yourself a life filled with multiple experiences and multiple ways to celebrate your bodies and movement and use strength outside of the gym, right? I have a history of powerlifting and weightlifting, and I love strength training, but after a few years of it, I thought, well, what am I doing with this? And I wanted to use that strength
to live bigger and live bolder, you know, train hard to live big, like the motto of the LIST method. And just like, this is my Saturday, right? And yeah, I could spend it in a gym and that wouldn't be not worth my time. There's no, strength is never wasted, but you know, strength training and those crappy weekday runs and all of that gives me the physical capacity to live a little bit bigger. And I think that's just, it's absolute magic. And it is some of the magic of hybrid training, because I get to experience being strong and, you know, forging a resilient body, a healthy body, but I also get to go use that body to get out there and, you know, live my life too. We are at the summit. I'm eating my waffle, 30 minutes in, eating some food. Hungry, and then I'm gonna try to run the rest of the loop and see how fast I can get it. I'll get at least 6.5 in, but I really wanted to get 8 or 9. So hopefully we'll move speedy once we're on the flat and I can actually get my whole run in. But hiking uphill in the snow was slow moving, I'll tell you that much. All right, we are definitely cruising a lot faster. 23 minutes later and I'm like 2 miles more. So we're moving faster, but it's kind of muddy, slushy now in these areas. I almost prefer the snow. But I'm gonna take a gel, so that will be the Stinger waffle and my gel in the first hour here. It's good because I feel hungry and I'm really excited, because in the past I've had such a sensitive stomach with running. It's exciting to actually be hungry on my runs, so it's a good thing. So I'm gonna take my gel and then keep cruising on the muddy slushy, but I'm actually running pretty steady. I slowed down to record so I didn't wipe out, but oh guys, good news. There's a parking lot right here, and that parking lot has a bathroom. See ya.
All right, it's about 7 miles, basically back at the car. I'm going to run in this little paved section for a little bit just to get more time on feet and mileage. of a little below my mileage and my time on feet goal for the day. So I'm just gonna kind of go until whichever one of those I hit first. Kind of halfway out, halfway back. A little bit faster on paved trail, then continue to go in the snow. And then we'll be done for the long run. And that's a wrap on that long run. I did a little over 2, like probably 2.2 extra miles on pavement. So about 7 snowy trail miles, and then 2.11 miles on pavement to wrap up the day, about 2 hours and 15 minutes, which is about exactly where I wanted to land on the day and mileage. So I am really happy about that. I think my legs are gonna be a little bit sore tomorrow, just because running on snow is that extra resistance. And it's a novel stimulus. It's just new. My muscles aren't used to it. So we'll see. I have one more day of running tomorrow. Wrap up week 1.